In 1996, a psychologist put a plate of fresh-baked cookies in front of hungry people and made them eat radishes instead. What happened next became one of the most famous experiments in psychology. It also turned out to be almost completely wrong. Here's the theory you were taught. Willpower is a muscle. Use it, and it gets tired. That's ego depletion. The idea that every act of self-control draws from one shared tank of mental energy, and once that tank runs dry, you cave. Skip dessert at lunch, and by dinner you've got nothing left to resist the second slice of cake. It's why your gym coach tells you to save your discipline for the big decisions. It's in best-selling books, TED Talks, corporate wellness programs. For 20 years, nobody seriously questioned it. The original study looked airtight. Roy Baumeister sat two groups in a room with warm cookies. One group ate the cookies. The other had to eat radishes and watch the cookies sit there. Then both groups tried to solve an impossible puzzle. The radish group gave up almost twice as fast. Baumeister's conclusion: resisting the cookies had drained their self-control, leaving nothing for the puzzle. The idea spread everywhere because it matched how burnout feels. But feels true and is true are different questions. And in 2016, someone finally asked the second one properly. In 2016, a coalition of researchers ran what's called a registered replication report, the same ego depletion experiment, run in 23 different labs on over 2,000 people, with the design locked in before anyone saw the results, so nobody could cherry-pick a favorable outcome. The combined effect size? Essentially zero. Not smaller than expected. Zero. Across 23 independent labs, the depletion effect that launched an entire industry of self-control advice did not reliably show up. This one got specific. Some researchers claimed willpower runs on blood sugar, and that a glucose drink could refill the tank. It's a tidy, biological-sounding story. Glucose in, self-control out. Except sugar water restoring willpower within minutes, faster than glucose could even be digested and cross into the brain, was itself a sign something was off. Later work showed the effect was better explained by expectation and taste than by actual blood chemistry. Rinsing your mouth with a sugary drink, without swallowing any of it, produced the same boost. So if it's not a drain tank, what's actually happening when someone gives in? Researchers Michael Inslicht and Brandon Schmeichel proposed a different model. It's not depletion. It's a shift in priorities. After effortful tasks, people don't run out of fuel. They get bored of the current goal and start paying attention to more rewarding alternatives. It's not your battery dying. It's your brain quietly deciding the cookie is now a better use of its time than the puzzle. Here's where it gets interesting. If willpower were really a battery, only rest should refill it. But study after study found people could power through persistent tasks the moment the incentive changed. A cash reward, a more interesting task. Even just being told the first task was for a good cause. A dead battery doesn't respond to being told the stakes are higher. A motivation system does. Here's maybe the most consequential myth: that people with strong self-control simply have a bigger tank. Stanford researchers Veronica Job and Carol Dweck tested this directly, not by measuring willpower, but by measuring what people believed about it. People who believed willpower was limited showed the classic depletion pattern. People who believed willpower was not a limited resource didn't. Same brains, same tasks, different beliefs, different outcomes. The reserve wasn't in their biology. It was in their theory of their own mind. So here's what's actually going on, as best current research can tell it. Self-control isn't a tank that empties. It's an attention and motivation system that reallocates itself based on what you believe, what you expect, and what's actually at stake in the moment. Call it the belief-based model of self-control. It explains everything the tank model couldn't. Why rewards restore effort instantly, why placebo glucose works as well as real glucose, and why simply believing willpower is unlimited changes how long people persist. Why did ego depletion last 20 years in psychology textbooks and self-help books before this came apart? Partly because early studies were small, underpowered, and, like a lot of psychology from that era, never seriously checked by anyone with the same sample size or standardized protocol. Partly because willpower is a muscle is an easy metaphor to teach, easy to sell, and matches lived experience of feeling drained. Replication doesn't happen because someone benefits from it. It happens when researchers get uncomfortable enough with an unverified idea to spend years testing it properly. If self-control isn't a fixed reserve, pace yourself, you'll run out, is bad advice. The better question isn't how much willpower do I have left today, it's what does this task need to feel worth doing right now. Change the stakes, change the framing, change what you believe about your own limits, and the same brain that gave in an hour ago will find another hour of effort. Not because it refilled, because it never had a tank to begin with. 5 things the textbook got wrong. Willpower isn't a finite resource that empties. Blood glucose doesn't directly restore it. Giving in isn't running out of mental energy. It's a shift in priorities. A break doesn't recharge you like a battery. Changing the incentive does. And people with more willpower don't have bigger reserves. They have different beliefs about whether reserves exist at all. 20 years, one metaphor, 0 replicated effect, and it's still in half the productivity books on shelves right now. That's twice now we've found a mental model that felt true, taught in classrooms, believed by millions, and built on a foundation that quietly gave out the moment anyone checked it properly. Next time, we're going after one of the oldest ones on the list. The idea that your IQ is fixed for life. What the actual research says might surprise you. Subscribe if you want to be there when it drops.